Welcome back, Troglodytes. Today we got another one of these Les Paul Artisans. These are gorgeous guitars, and this is actually the first two pickup Artisan that I've ever had. Typically, these guitars are known for having three pickups, but if I'm remembering correctly, in 1979 the three pickups became an option and the two pickup became the standard. But coincidentally, it's still harder to find a two pickup Artisan than it is a three pickup, because I don't know, whenever I think Les Paul Artisan, I think it's a three pickup Les Paul with a usually a dark mahogany top or a light mahogany type walnut stain to it. But this one, unfortunately, it's player's grade. I've been searching really hard for, all original examples. The two Les Paul Artisans I have purchased in the past month were advertised as all original, and then I get them. All of them had replaced pickups and a bunch of other replaced parts, so, well, it's a player's grade, but it's a very beautiful player's grade. So, without any further ado, let's take a look at this sweet guitar. The headstock is in good shape here. You can see all the fancy hearts and flowers and the Gibson pre-war logo there. Not a lot of wear and tear on the front. You can see there is a little bit of area of missing finish kind of right here. It's very minor. It looks like just a light ding, but you do have some light string change wear, but nothing too bad overall. The lacquer has aged very lightly to a very, light yellow hue. I mean, it's not too much. It's just kind of a nice vintage vibe. Original nut on this one, and the original ebony fretboard with the banjo hearts and flowers inlays, which are, all intact and gorgeous. If you don't know, the Les Paul Artisans were stylized after the old Gibson banjos, and I think these are some of the coolest Les Pauls that you can buy from the late 70s. Onto the body here. The body is not black. It's going to look black until you get really up close, and then you can see it's a very, very dark walnut. So we'll try to show you where all the little nicks and dings are. Since it's a black guitar, they'll kind of show up. As you can see, you've got some picking wear there, and some, just very light nicks and dings on the top. I mean, you kind of got to be looking for it to find it. But luckily, they're all just kind of showing up as we're going around here, and then I'll kind of point out what I see. So you saw these little dings here, the scratches in that area, and there's some more indentation right here. I don't know if you can see that or not. There we go. But I mean, overall it's in good shape. Down here, it looks like the stain didn't quite catch in this area by the binding. And right now you can really see what the true color is, a dark chocolate brown. There is some nice wood grain underneath. Alright, so I told you that it had swapped out pickups. I believe these are 57 Classics. They got that PAF patent applied for on the bottom, but I was really surprised when I pulled these pickups, because look at the aging on it. It looks like this has been in the guitar for 30-some years. Initially, I had pulled the neck out, and there's not a lot of lead in there, so I couldn't see all the way under. I thought it was the original tarback, and then I got here, it's like, if that's not original, I better take that out and double check. But yeah, they are both 57 Classics. The good thing is, it sounds great in this guitar. I mean, usually I'm against swapped out pickups, but I mean, this set does sound good. They are genuine Gibson pickups, and some people don't even like the tarbacks. But the problem that we're going to start running into in the very near future is all these tarback pickups are starting to die. Coils go bad, or they become super microphonic and they start going Ree! Things like that whenever you have high gain. That's the problem with these tarbacks. You can't fix them. You cannot get past the epoxy, so what's going to happen is you're going to start seeing more and more replaced tarback pickups in things like the 2550s and the Les Paul Artisans. Sad but true, so if you got one of those and it does die, at least keep it with the guitar. The bridge has been replaced with a later 80s counterpart. At first, I saw the replaced saddles and I thought, well, maybe they just replaced the saddles with black saddles. But it has the markings of a slightly later 80s Gibson tailpiece. So still the same tailpiece that Gibson used in the late 80s, Schaller made, but just slightly different. And you do have the original TP6 tailpiece on this guitar. It's a fine-tuning tailpiece. Some people use it, mostly it's just for the show. But it is very tarnished on the gold hardware. It almost kind of looks chrome. On to the back of the headstock. These are not the original tuners that were on this particular guitar. When it came to me, it had slightly later Schaller tuners, but I had this set of error correct ones that I threw on back when I thought the guitar was all original, because I wanted to restore it to all original, but unfortunately I was too late, and since I already did it, I was like, well, might as well just leave them on. Right, but your serial number is 70659001, which means this was the first guitar produced that day, and it is Kalamazoo made in USA. Beautiful neck here. It has kind of a dark vibe going on, but with some lighter streaks in it. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it is a three-piece maple neck. As you can see, it's just gorgeous. There are some areas where the stain didn't really hit or it was worn off right here, but overall, I mean, it's not like the finish is completely worn off the side of the neck. It's just these two small areas. No super nicks or dings. I mean, you do have a few. I don't know if those are showing up or not, but just some light play wear indentations. It's definitely a nice 60s profile, very comfortable to play. After holding that 50s neck red custom, this was definitely a nice playing guitar for me. I think I kind of like the 60s profile. Maybe it's just because I'm so used to playing all these guitars and I really have a passion for these Norlin era Gibsons. The back of the guitar does have some wear, as we'll shine the light on here. It's got some buckle rash and some dents and things like that. I'll kind of point it out here. Here you've got like a line indentation. Those are just some fingerprints. And you can see some scratches here and there. Got some dents down here. I mean, it's definitely a player's grade Les Paul Artisan, but you know, it's not trashed either. Got some wear here as well. So just kind of expect, you know, very light buckle wear. Nothing's really, you know, destroying the finish. And you hold it at the right angle, it looks pretty good. I'll show you around here. Nothing really too much to note. It looks like you got some finish checking here on the binding, but no breaks, cracks, or repairs on this guitar, thankfully. I hate it when I get surprises of finding repairs on guitars. It's bad enough when you find out changed parts when it's advertised as all original. But, you know, in about 90% of my cases, you can see some wear here, when I buy a guitar that is described as all original, and I get it and verify that it's not, what happens is the person bought the guitar from somebody, some dealer, that said all original, they bought it, you know, they just played it, kept it for years, and then when they come to sell, then they find out. Because when you buy a guitar, I don't even care if you buy a guitar from me, you better be tearing that guitar apart and verifying it yourself, or at least emailing some photos to someone you know and trust. So if you guys ever buy a Gibson from like the 70s and 80s, feel free to, you know, shoot me some pics on my Facebook page or my email. I'll gladly verify the guitar for you. Because I just hate it when this happens, because then they have to refund some money or the guitar gets returned, and I really hate conflict and stuff like that, being the bearer of bad news. But definitely check your guitars over. Do a black light test here. You can see the headstock is in good shape. There's that small area I was talking about earlier where there's a smudge in the finish. Inlays are all good. Let's take a look at the front here. You can see some of the light nicks and dings a little better this way as well. everything's looking good up front here. I guess something I missed earlier is strap locks, Schaller strap locks were also put on the guitar. Back of the headstock, you can see some wear towards the top there and some light nicks and dings. But finish-wise, you're pretty good. The neck here, you can see the finish is kind of worn off the side from playing. As I was suggesting earlier, you can see it a little bit better in these black light photos. But the side that you'll see while you're playing is pretty clean, so that's pretty much a non-issue. You'll never really see it. Now back here you can kind of see some evidence of like where a stand was resting against the guitar. I mean, in normal lighting situations you don't really see it, but once you hit that black light on you can. And here's where you can see some of that buckle rash and whatnot, kind of affecting the finish a little bit. The lacquer's chipped, or formed that line where the neck meets. The neck's never been out or anything like that, though. But overall, there is some finish wear and tear on the guitar, as well as some nicks and dings. But it's player's grade, and it's a 2-pickup model, which can be pretty desirable if you hate the 3rd pickup. Some people don't like it because of it gets in their way of their picking. This one weighs 10 pounds, 12.1 ounces, which is fairly common for a Les Paul Artisan. But I will say it feels lighter than the weight suggests. This guitar comes in an era-correct Gibson hardshell case with red interior. As you can see, it does have some wear and tear all around. It looked like there might have been some stickers on it previously that have been taken off. That's not like Tolex missing, that's kind of like brown paint that's kind of on there. But you got lots of nicks and dings, but overall the case works pretty good. Sometimes this can be a little funny. You gotta play with it a little bit to get it to latch, but it's working pretty okay now. Original handle still intact. And I believe, yes, all of the latches are still here as well. But beautiful red interior. These aren't the best cases in the world, but they are era correct for the guitar. So I am including it for you. And you also have a compartment lid there. We will be demoing through a Marshall JMP 1C 1-watt tube amplifier. If you think you might be interested in being the next owner of this gorgeous Gibson Les Paul Artisan, feel free to contact me on my Facebook page, facebook.com/Troglys, Troglys, or check out the Reverb or eBay listing. Alright, Troglodytes, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.